Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is Sunday, August 13th. So I hope you guys have all had a good week. My week was pretty good. I got stitching done, I got diamond painting done, I got reading done. Some challenging work days as always, but I always get through it. Yeah. Okay, so questions. I had a lot of questions this week. Any question that you guys ask me in the comments, I've started to write them down to discuss in the following week's video, only because you're probably not the only one that has that question. So ask the questions. Do not be afraid of asking the questions. So the first question, the best clip-on light, small. So the best clip-on light that I've ever used, and it's a little tight on a Q-snap, but it works fantastic on hoops. You can put it on a Q-snap because I have. I had this light for a long time. I'm going to find it. I'm going to show you three different lights. Okay, so this one is actually a book light. And it is called the Vecchia Rechargeable, and it comes in different colors. I'll link it down below, all of the things that I'm talking about. But that's what it looks like. It has 3 light settings. And like I said, it's rechargeable, so there is no cord. It's wireless, which is awesome. I used this light for a really, really long time. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend if you're looking for something like that. Now, the light that I currently use isn't exactly lightweight, and it clips more on a table, but I love it. And it is the Dionber. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So you can see here, here's the picture. You can see how it clips on. And then those 2 bars actually come apart if you want to spread the light out. I have this clipped to a side table where I stitch, and I just angle. That thing is very bendy. And when you move it and put it, it stays. Like it doesn't flop over or anything like that. Highly recommend this light. I love this one as well. Now, the third light is a very, very popular light, and I actually had it on my Amazon wish list for Christmas, but then thought about it. I don't really think I need it because it's $120. It is the Daylight Halo Glow, which not only has a light, but a magnifier, and it sits on a table. But the base is very, very heavy, which is awesome. So you can bend the arm towards you or back. So many people had this at the retreat, and I was thinking about asking for it for Christmas so I could also take it to a retreat. But because I stitch 9 times out of 10 on perforated paper now, perforated paper, you don't need a light trained on it. I can see the holes very clearly. It's very easy to just see it. But here is the light. And like I said, I will link these 3 lights down below. A lot of people love this. So many people had it. I mean, 3 people at my table at the retreat had it. So it is very, very, very popular. All right, someone else asked, the best stand for hoops that is cheap. Now, for hoops, I hold it in my hand, but I also have put them in my Lowry. The Lowry is not exactly cheap, but there is also what is called the Elbacy table clamp, and let me show you what that is. Again, this clips onto a table. I'm going to find it because I did purchase it off of Amazon. Wait a minute. Bear with me here for a second while I search in my orders. Okay, it didn't come up. I know I got it on here though. I think it's called Elbacy. Yes, here it is. Now they have a frame in it, but you can see they also put a hoop in it. So you can see where that clamps onto a table, and you probably have a good inch or two of width that you can clamp onto, the table edge. And then you can see how the hoop holds. And then there's a little knob on the side where you can lift the hoop up to get to the back of your work. This was fantastic. It's very lightweight. It fits in a suitcase very, very well. I really like this. Yeah, I've used it before at a retreat. Okay. Someone else asked how to keep your fabric from fraying on the edges. Now, places like 1, 2, 3 Stitch, they will serge the edge of their fabric, which prevents fraying. But if you buy a fat quarter of a piece of fabric and you are cutting it, right, to use it for a smaller project, you're going to lose that the serging around the edge. So I found this really wonderful video by Notorious Needle on YouTube, where she shows a couple different ways of how to keep your fabric from fraying, which is using fray check around the edge, masking tape, and I don't remember the other way. I think there was 3 ways. I will link her video down below because she is up close and personal, and it's a really wonderful resource if you are looking to solve that issue. Okay. The next question, do I use both round and square rulers? Well, I don't do square diamond paintings anymore, so the answer to that is no. And as far as the round rulers, I have 3 sizes. I have 140, 140.5, and 141. And I have the large one, meaning the area is the largest, not the size of the mesh holes, but the area of the ruler. Because Donnie makes, I want to say small, medium, large. I want the biggest section. And I used both 140 and 140.5 on Tea Rose Fairy, but I've edged back to using 140. And that's what I'm currently using. And I love it so much. The ruler's truly a game changer. Now, the square ruler is different than the mesh ruler. Than the round ruler, because the square ruler, it's more like crosses. And I think what that is meant to do is to give you guides, because for squares, when you put diamonds around other diamonds, they wind up snapping into place. For rounds, it's very different. You are just placing the whole grid, but it makes it so perfectly nice and neat. And I can go much faster diamond painting. Not that it's a race, because it isn't, but I can go much faster than I normally go because I'm not spending time stopping to straighten diamonds, which I was doing that constantly. Okay. Now, the last 2 questions are about perforated paper. So I'm going to skip ahead to my whip because it's the best way I can show you the solution to these 2 questions. So as you know, I am working on and worked on this week Primrose Cottage Stitches Honeybee Quaker, which was in their latest Sip and Stitch box, which I had. This is going to be in their fall release, which I actually think is Monday. I think it's tomorrow. I think they're releasing this and all of their other fall patterns, which 2 of them I'm going to get. I absolutely love. I love this so much. So I am stitching mine on 14 count ecru perforated paper. So I'm going to put this up against here. So someone asked me, how do I start and end threads on perforated paper so it's nice and neat? When I stitch on 14 count, I'm using 2 strands of thread. So I use the loop method to start, which is the easiest way. On 18 count, I only use 1 strand, and I do what's called a waist knot. So I will tie a knot in the thread, come up through the front of the paper, and have the knot a little bit away from where my stitches are. Like, let's say I was going to stitch a row of 5 stitches. Let me just try to show you. So I'll have to link a video because I did a video on it. It's actually a needle point stitch, the waist knot. So let's say I was going to do a line of 5 stitches. I would put my waist knot way over here, carry the thread across the 5 stitches, and then do the stitches. So as you do the stitches, it anchors the back of that thread. And when you get back to the knot, you just clip the knot and your thread is anchored. That is how I do it every time on 18 count until I get some stitching done. And then I can just run my thread underneath something else that's near it to start. I will do that if I can. Now, to end threads, I just do it like you would do it on fabric. I just run it over the back, run it through the back of something, and I'll do it like up and down and around. Like I really, really try to anchor it for stitching on paper. And the same thing on 18 count paper. Now, as you can see, I'm going to show you this. Here's the stitching I got done. Doesn't it look really good? Love this piece so much. If you remember, I had talked about with the single stitches, which are here and here, and then there are single stitches all around this design. I had purchased square diamonds used in diamond painting in the colors for those single stitches. I actually applied the diamonds with glue, didn't like it, didn't like how it looked. So I picked them off and did the single stitches. Now, we're asking, okay, Danielle, how did you do that? Because on fabric, fabric is much more forgiving with carrying threads than perforated paper is. You can see right through the paper. So what I did with these single stitches, I ran my thread. I started the stitch. Okay, I did this one. And I ran my thread up here, over here, all the way over here to do this one. You have to be very, very careful because carrying threads in perforated paper, if you aren't careful with it, you will be able to see it from the front. Nobody wants to see that. And the same thing here. I did one stitch, ran it straight up here, over here, did this, ran it back in over here. It was tedious, do not get me wrong, but you cannot see where I ran the thread. It looks so good. I did this the bee house last night. So this is turning out so very good. I am loving it so very much. Doesn't it look so nice and neat? Okay. So the last question I had was, how do I attach the perforated paper to scrapbook paper and then that whole piece to like the backing board or the artist canvas? So what I use is this. Now, they don't make this exact model anymore. There is another model. I will link it down below. It is a Xyron Creative Station. I'm going to hold it up because this is basically a giant sticker maker. So what I will do is I cut the cardstock to the size of my paper, run it through so the back has adhesive, but then I flip it over and I run it through again. So both sides have adhesive. Okay, so are you following me so far? Both sides have adhesive. To one side, I will stick this piece. Get that down. I cut all around that. And then remember, the back still has adhesive. Now, to get to that adhesive, you have to peel off a piece of paper. So it's not like it's all sticky right there. So I will cut it, and then I will peel off the back and then stick it to the backing board, artist canvas, wherever I'm attaching it to. Because I personally don't like running my stitched piece through the sticker maker. I have done that. It tends on my end to flatten the stitches a little bit. And if you have buttons or beads or something, I don't think it's going to work very well. So I, at all costs, try not to run my stitched piece through the sticker maker. Now, this was like $100, $60. It was not cheap, but it is fantastic. I absolutely love it. So that's how I do it. You could use stitchery tape, but I I love this. And they have cartridges that you buy with the adhesive that you just slip in it. Piece of cake, very easy. Love, love, love. Okay, that was all the questions. Thank you so much for the questions, because man, that was 15 minutes of the video, right? I will answer any question. I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination on stitching or diamond painting, but I have been doing both for quite a long time and probably have encountered almost every kind of issue that's come up, right? So I feel like I am pretty knowledgeable. Or if not, I can find you the answer. I mean, Google, YouTube, wonderful resources for, especially YouTube, for answers for stuff like that. All right, movies and TV this week. So I watched, and I feel like I listened to a podcast about this story. Jennifer Faison, I think is her name. On Hulu, there is a series called Betrayal, the Perfect Husband. Oh, my. In a nutshell, this woman dated this guy in college. They were very close. He was the perfect boyfriend. But in her senior year, she decided she wanted to be on her own. So she broke up with him. Well, they both went their separate ways. 20 years later, they wind up reconnecting and getting married. 7 years after that, she finds out that he's been having affairs ever since they have been together. And the last one was with a student of his. He was a teacher. Oh my. I cried for her. It was just heartbreaking. The Betrayal, the title. But wow, just wow is the only way to say it. I also watched 2 movies that I have seen many times before and love. Dolores Claiborne stars Kathy Bates and Jennifer Jason Leigh, and it's based on the book by Stephen King. If you have not watched that movie, now it's old, it's like from 1990, something like that. Fantastic. I love the movie so much. And then I watched What Lies Beneath with Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, another favorite movie. I've seen many, many times. And then I caught up on And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot. So I think there's one more episode in this season. And then the past couple nights, I have been watching the new series on Hulu called Painkiller, which is about OxyContin and Purdue Pharma. Powerful stuff. It makes me never, ever want to take a painkiller. And it stars Matthew Broderick as, is it Zeckler? I think that's the guy's name. But Hulu had a series on, I want to say a year or so ago, called Dope Sick, which was about the same exact issue. And Michael Keaton was in it and Rosario Dawson, and phenomenal. Like, there's just the acting and just heartbreaking stories of addiction. I mean, people falling into addiction that are wonderful people that just get caught up in this. And it's a very powerful show if you want to watch it. Okay, books. I decided I wanted to start getting my books from the library because I love holding a physical book in my hand, and the library is free. So the book I'm reading this week is called The Plot by Jean Hanff. I don't know if that's how you say that. Correlates. I've read quite a bit. I only have that little bit to go. So the premise of this book, I'm going to read it to you because for me to try to explain it. Jacob Finch Bonner was once a promising young novelist with a respectably published first book. Today, he's teaching in a third-rate MFA program and struggling to maintain what's left of his self-respect. He hasn't written, let alone published, anything decent in years. When Evan Parker, his most arrogant student, announces he doesn't need Jake's help because the plot of his book in progress is a sure thing, Jake is prepared to dismiss the boast as typical amateur narcissism, but then he hears the plot. Jake returns to the downward trajectory of his own career and braces himself for the supernova publication of Evan Parker's first novel, but it never comes. When he discovers that his former student has died, presumably without ever completing his book, Jake does what any self-respecting writer would do with a story like that, a story that absolutely needs to be told. In a few short years, all of Evan Parker's predictions have come true, but Jake is the author enjoying the wave. He is wealthy, famous, praised, and read all over the world. But at the height of his glorious new life, an email arrives, the first salvo in a terrifying anonymous campaign. You are a thief, it says. As Jake struggles to understand his antagonist and hide the truth from his readers and publishers, he begins to learn more about his late student, and what he discovers both amazes and terrifies him. Who was Evan Parker, and how did he get the idea for his sure thing of a novel? What is the real story behind the plot, and who stole it from whom? Wow, is this? It was a little bit to get started, but oh my. I am wanting to finish this because I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure. And OMG, so good. Highly recommend if you like. It's not like the normal domestic suspense that I read, but it is a nail biter because you feel for this guy. Now, and I'm not going to give it away, but yes. Good. Very, very good. All right. Gifts this week. Well, first off, let's pick the winner. I already picked the winner of the Patsy Putty candy cane. Remember, I bought 2 of them by mistake. So, Heather, the diamond painting bookworm, you are the winner of the putty. So I will be contacting you and letting you know. I have all of your information, and I will be mailing this on Monday out to you. So enjoy. And I actually found out yesterday. So Holly hosts all kinds of giveaways on her channel. She hosted a giveaway for, I think she picked 3 winners or 4 winners for 200 members in her group. And she messaged me last night and I was one of the winners. Let's go. I feel like I don't win anything usually like that. Now, the giveaway was twofold. You could pick one of 4 diamond painting kits that she had from Diamond Art Club, and you also got putty. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. I only entered it to get the putty. So I messaged her and I said, you know, I would love to donate my kit. Like, pick somebody else for the winner of the kit. I said, who, can't afford it, doesn't have a lot, really, really wants it. I said, I have over 30 kits that are undone in my current stash. I said, I just wanted the putty. So she is going to be picking another winner for the kit, which I'm so very happy to do that. But last week, also, Holly contacted me and she has a coupon for you guys, a discount code. So the discount code is Stitcherista, and it will give you 15% off your total order. Now, I don't think she has anything listed in her Etsy shop because she sold out for the first drop. So the code is open-ended, like there is no end date. So save it for her next drop because she is making putty for the next drop. So 15% off your total order. So Holly, thank you for all of that. Very, very generous of you to do that. All right, favorites of the week. Today's favorites are hair products. So I am always looking, in the 80s, I had the days of tons of hairspray. I mean, look, I used to curl all my hair like I do now. You could take a piece of it and lift up the whole side. I wore that much hairspray. And I wore that much hairspray. I mean, I would get up 2 hours before school was ready to get ready. You getting me right now? I wore so much hairspray that if I slept on my back, the next day, all I had to do was fix the back of my hair. This stayed intact. That's a lot of hairspray. I don't do that anymore. I don't even come close to that. I like products that soft hairspray that makes you can still touch your hair where it's not crunchy or anything like that. So, and I also once or twice a week like to let my hair air dry because obviously it's much healthier for your hair to not be putting all kinds of heat on it. So I use this stuff from Cuvée Beauty. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Air dry mist. It's not cheap. This bottle, I want to say, was $18, $30, something. I know. It lasts a long time though. And what you do is I spray it in my hand and then scrunch it in my hair, and I'll scrunch it. And it's like a heat protectant, leave-in conditioner, and it smells fantastic. They also make a champagne spray, which is almost like a texturizing spray for your hair. And I got the sample. I bought a sample of it because I wanted to try it out before I bought the big bottle. I got this in the mail yesterday and used it for the first time today. I absolutely love it because it does make your hair look texturized and it holds it. Like it's hairspray without being hairspray. I will link these down below. Amazon, fantastic. And then another favorite of the week. So Bill and I decided to have kind of a day date yesterday. We grabbed Subway for lunch and went to a local park near our house and just spent a couple hours there, brought our camping chairs. We actually played hangman on a pad of paper and a pen that I had in my purse. We were laughing so hard trying to guess the words because we limited each word to 6 letters. You wouldn't believe how difficult it is just to figure out a 5-letter word. We were laughing so hard. It was a lot of fun. And even though it was like 95 degrees yesterday, this park is on the water. So there was a breeze. We were under a shade tree. It wasn't hot at all. It was wonderful. We hadn't done that in so long. So I was very grateful yesterday for that day. So yes. All right. Gratitude. Gratitude this week for Bill. Again, always helping me with my crafts. If you saw the video that we did where I showed how he customizes my frames, I am so very grateful to him to do that because you saw how long it took. It took us an hour to do that. Yeah. And I told him when we were done with the video, I said, well, good thing is we're not going to be doing this again for a while because I don't do the frame until I'm almost done the diamond painting. And I'm still not done T-Rose Fairy. Now, I'm very close, as you will see when I show you. I'll flip you around and show you. I only have a section, like 1.5 sections left. And I asked Bill, we're going to film me actually what I do to the canvas to get it into the magnetic frame and how we hang it and all of that, because I'm pretty sure I filmed that for Queen of Hearts, but that was months ago. So I'm going to frame it again, film it again for T-Rose Fairy so you guys can see that. Because T-Rose Fairy is actually going to go right here in front of me by my desk. Okay. So I did get gifts. Yes. I have a wonderful gift from my friend Becky to show you, and then I'm going to show you the diamond painting, and that's going to be it for the video. Yeah. So I have made such wonderful friendships from having this channel. Again, so very grateful for that every single day. Becky reads just like I do, and she belongs to Book of the Month Club. And she was reading this book, which sounded quite intriguing. And she's like, well, I'll just send it to you. Cool. Okay. Well, she's the kind of person that she just doesn't send the book. She sends like a care package. So I get this big box in the mail. Well, here is the book, The Last Word by Taylor Adams. And I feel like this was the same author that wrote No Exit. Remember that? And they turned it into a series? Yes. Oh, it's a man. I'm sorry. It's not a woman. Yes. No Exit, which I actually didn't read the book, but I liked the series that was on The Last Word. So I'm going to be reading that probably next after I finish the plot. But when I opened up the box, I just about screamed because Jill had posted, she sent me candy. Jill had posted that these were the best gummy bears ever. And so I've never tried these. I went on to Amazon and I almost bought them. I had them in the cart and then I was like, Danielle, you don't need to purchase this. So I deleted them. And then 2 days later, I get Becky's box and what's in here. That was God speaking to me. No, Danielle, you don't have to buy those because you're going to be getting them. I cannot wait to try these. She also gave me a bunch of the Ghirardelli's chocolate squares. OMG. And then she knows I love caramel. She gave me soft caramels from Werther's, which I've never tried those. Can't wait to try that. And then caramel hard candies. Love. Are you kidding me? But then she also sent me this jar with a whole bunch of buttons in here. Buttons and stuff, because she knows I like to add buttons to my perforated paper pieces. I absolutely do. I like to make it my own with buttons. And I love this jar so much. So I'm actually going to start keeping my button packs in here on the shelf up here because I have room. So Becky, thank you so very much. I actually, and I'm going to show you one of the packs of buttons I bought. So Primrose Cottage Stitches, they did a piece last year called Christmas Alphabet, and along the bottom are gifts that you stitch. Well, I decided I didn't want to stitch the gifts because I'm going to stitch it on paper. I went on Just Another Button Company's website and I bought button gifts. I'm going to use buttons for the gifts. I can't wait to see how it turns out. I think it's going to turn out fantastic. And it's going to be something unique. I can't wait. So, lots of wonderful things from people I have received. I am so very blessed and grateful. And I also wanted to mention, you know, because my YouTube revenue has gone down quite significantly in the past month from only doing 1 video a week instead of 4 to 5 a week, which obviously makes sense. I just wanted to express extreme gratitude to those who continue to support my channel through Patreon or have joined the channel. You do not know how much that truly means to me, that you are willing to even give $1 a month. Everything matters. All of it matters. All of it adds into the final total that I receive, you know, at the end of the month. I'm very, very grateful. It allows me to, you know, purchase things for the channel. And I'm very, very grateful. So thank you. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to show you is my diamond painting progress, because I got quite a bit done last week and it's been so much fun seeing me get to the end of it. I am looking forward to the next diamond painting, which I showed last week, because it's completely different colors. It's more purples. This one is a lot of pinks. And I try to do that when I do the next diamond painting. I try to do a completely different color palette if I can, because, you know, you get tired of doing the same colors over and over. And for me, a diamond painting takes months. So you guys who do it in 2 or 3 days, bow down to the queen or the king, because there's no way. So let me flip you around and let's take a peekity peek, because I am so utterly very close to finishing. Can you even? So yeah, that's where I'm at. So I still have where the mesh ruler is, and then this whole section, and that is it. Today, my aim is to get done this section where the mesh ruler is. I am off work tomorrow, so I'm aiming to get done half of that section, if not all. It is a lot of the same colors, like a lot of color blocking. So I could probably really go gangbusters on it, you know? So there might be a finishing video this week, who knows? But isn't it looking so fantastic? I love it so very much. It's going to look so, so good on the wall. So, as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.